Okay everybody, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the AG42B Ljungman, and we've already made a previous video on this one, and what we're going to do today is take these out to 200 yards and just make another video shooting them some. And these started out as the AG42 and were updated to the B pattern in 1955. There were 32,000 of them and some change made, and 10 round 6.5 Swedish semi-autos. Open from a top cover here, and then feed 5 round stripper clips. And the action, you can close it. It's hold open by the follower, but you can close it without just releasing the bolt by pushing it forward like this and then releasing the catch at the back. The sights on these will go out. We have this one on the round nose setting and this one on the Spitzer setting, and goes all the way up to that 600 on that, and then on the round nosed ammo it also goes up to 6. And we also have one of the bayonets for one of them here that takes the standard M96 Swedish bayonet. And yeah, the safety is back here, right nearby where your thumb's going to be. Flip it this way is fire, and this way is safe. And also got our magazine, which has these front tabs to help lock it in. And with your magazine out, I can show you kind of how the rifle works. So when it's on safe, it'll cycle back and forth this whole bolt assembly, and it won't release at all unless you press this back tab here. So if you depress that tab, you can release the assembly. And the best way to disassemble one of these is to not lock it up into that assembly, because it kind of is all compressed and can easily explode into a whole mess of parts. The best way to disassemble one of these is just push this top cover forward and then take out the back assembly right here, and then let it all release slowly. But basically on fire, whenever you pull the bolt carrier all the way to the rear, it's going to go forward. And that's where the reputation from people comes from of how these are going to, will mess up your thumb worse than an M1. And as long as you're being careful with them, I've never had an issue with it, and taken these hunting before and been fairly successful with them and never had any issues. So just be aware of it, and if you're playing around with the rifle, then keep it on safe, and then you won't have any risk. And just remember to release the bolt right there, decock it slowly. And it's a hammer fired and operates on the same system that the SVT-40 does, pretty much. It's direct impingement instead of a piston gun, but the tilting bolt is very similar to the SVT-38 and 40. And up here at your gas block, on most AG42Bs, you'll see a crack in the handguard right here. It just seems to be something that happens on all of them as you fire them. And basically, it's fine to shoot them, just keep an eye on the crack, and if it gets past this band, then it's probably something you need to repair, but almost every AG42 is going to develop a crack right there. And the cleaning rods are fairly similar to the just Swedish Mauser cleaning rods, and the front sight is adjusted by a screw right here, and there's a bunch of different variations of front sight if your gun is off 0, and you can find those and basically replace your front sight to get it on proper 0. And it also has this kind of built-in muzzle brake on the end of it, which basically just helps to mitigate recoil. It does make the guns a fair bit louder than they would be though. And yeah, this one's a 1943 production, this one's a 1945 production, and they would make a couple 155, and that's about all I'm going to say about them. And we're going to be shooting Celler and Bellot 140 grain soft points in this video, and yeah, that's about all I'm going to say about them, so let's go shoot them some. Alright, we're going to start off shooting at 100 yards. This is the 1943 production one. I'm going to do 5 rounds. And actually both of our Ljungmans have their sights set to round-nosed ammo. So we're going to have to see how that shoots. And this is also our first time shooting the Celler and Bellot ammo. That's 5 at 100 yards. Alright, here's our group, and it's fairly low. So with this one, we'd shot it before with the rear sight set to a Spitzer, and it shot just as low, and we flipped it just to see if we could, you know, get it on target and get around having to replace the front sight. But it's still shooting low, so we're definitely going to have to replace that in the future, but you'll have to do another group and just kind of bump it up to 2 and see where it hits. Alright, we're going to load up another 5 rounds and shoot it at 100 again. This time we're going to have it set to 2 to see if that will get us more on target. That's 5 of them. Well, we bumped it up to 2, and you can see it didn't really move the group, but that is an impressive group out of this rifle. We may just have to shoot the other one at 200 and see how it does. Alright, we've got the 1945 production one. And we're going to see how this one does at 200. Well, that was 5 rounds at 200. Alright, here's our group at 200. And you can see it spread out a little bit, but that's a pretty good group for 200 yards. And if I had to guess, some of that was just for me. But very nice shooting rifles. Alright, we're going to fire another 10 down at 200 yards. And I have to say, with this ammo, this is the Celler and Bellot 140 grain stuff. This stuff is pretty darn cheap. It can be found for like 80 to 90 cents a round, and so far it seems to be fairly good quality. Seems to certainly be, you know, perfect ammo for plinking, but also accurate enough to hunt with. So fire another 10 rounds at 200 yards. That's 10 of them. Alright, here's our next group with the Ljungman at 200 yards. And it's all pretty close together except for these two, which is probably just me, but you know, you most certainly wouldn't want to be down here at 200 yards when one of these is being shot. And at some point we'll have to adjust our sights over a bit to the left more, but pretty good group. Alright, that's going to be it for the video. We had a lot of fun with the AG42B Ljungmans. And these are very nice, accurate rifles, and just great all-around guns. And yeah, this is probably my favorite surplus rifle just to shoot. They're excellent shooters, and basically have no recoil, and as you can see are pretty accurate out to 200 yards. And yeah, if you want to see any more out of this one or any of other Swedish rifles, let us know in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one.